Hi, welcome to our video training. Has your business hit the $1 million, $3 million, or $10 million wall yet? I have to assume that you're on this video training to learn how to grow your business with velocity. In this video training, you'll learn where you shouldn't be spending your money or time, the #1 rule to business success, and the proven 4-step formula that will help you grow your business with controlled velocity. As an introduction, my name is John Patrick. I have 30 years experience in executive management with the largest financial services company in the world, building companies within a company. I have executive leadership experience with small businesses and large corporations. I have CEO experience in startups and established companies. I've launched several successful companies from concept through sale. And in the last 10 years, I have a business growth strategy consulting firm where I've made the mistakes that this training will help you to avoid. So I'd like to start with where you shouldn't be spending your time or money. And that starts in the area of social media. Now, before I get a lot of hate mail around social media, I want to explain that that is a very viable platform in which to produce your message. However, it oftentimes does not give you an opportunity to grow with velocity. It takes time, and you have to establish your credibility before you can actually use that tool oftentimes to drive business. U.S. Post Office and snail mail. I'm sure you're like me that in the course of a day when you're going through your mail, you put it in 2 stacks. The stack that you want to spend your time and attention on, and the stack that's going to go in the trash can. And unfortunately, because so many people have used the Postal Service as a means of promoting themselves, they now get lost and oftentimes find themselves in the trash can. Yellow pages. This was a very viable thing prior to the internet. However, since then, there's so many other ways to get information online quickly that the art of using yellow pages to drive your message or to create advertisement just doesn't work. And again, if you're like me, you oftentimes discard any of those rare yellow pages that you do get without even opening them up or looking at them. Telemarketing or cold calls, while they can be somewhat effective, the fact is that it does not allow you generally to pinpoint who you want to talk to. So it's a matter of talking to a whole lot of people in hopes of coming across someone that might be interested in your product or in your service. Networking. I've done training on networking, and I can tell you that most people do not network effectively. If you think about it, most of the people there are there for one reason, and that's to promote themselves. So while your intent may be to do that as well, you find yourself spending an evening or an afternoon being dealt a bunch of business cards where you may or may not have any interest to do anything further. And ebooks. There was a point in time where that was fashionable to write an ebook and create it yourself as being an expert. However, that has been so overused that the effectiveness just doesn't work anymore. Facebook ads allow you to target specific demographics, which substantially increase your ability to attract qualified prospects who will buy your product or service. Why? Because much of what you hear about marketing and growing a business is simply not true. While there is certainly a time and place to utilize many of these marketing tools, the fact is they seldom work when it comes to growing your business with velocity now. Just as a rifle is more accurate than a shotgun, throwing marketing effort at things with the hope some will stick may get you a sale or some revenue from time to time, but it's not consistent, it's not predictable, and it doesn't typically include velocity. More about the rifle later. Our proven method will allow you to grow with controlled velocity. That is, you can turn it on and off as your capabilities to handle sales allows for it. Just as not growing means eventual failure, growing too fast without having the infrastructure to handle it has been the demise of many otherwise promising businesses. But first, the number one rule for business success: show you care. I'd like to share with you a story that epitomizes that, what true customer service means and what it means to be on the other side of a company who cares. This story, it was written by a gentleman by the name of Chris Hearn, and it involves his son and a stuffed giraffe that you see on screen by the name of Joshy. And this story has gone viral. I'm going to actually read the story to you as told by Chris Hearn in Huffington Post. And Chris said, most people have experienced outstanding customer service in one form or another. An attentive server at a restaurant or a retail store employee who goes the extra mile. A thriving industry comprised of consultants dedicated to training companies how to adopt exemplary customer service has blossomed over the past couple of decades. For example, the Walt Disney Company Institute will help bring some of that Disney magic to your business. At my company, we've always pushed our employees to go the extra mile for clients because the ripple effects of terrific customer service extend beyond mere satisfaction and retention. Exemplary customer service distinguishes your brand, builds repeat business, combats price competition, and even improves employee morale. Hotel chain Ritz-Carlton has a storied reputation for great customer service. Many companies mimic its training programs, and one often hears executives saying that they want to be known as the Ritz-Carlton of their respective industry, be it a law firm, a car dealership, or a plumbing supplier. Recently, my family and I experienced the Ritz-Carlton signature customer service in a way that will be talked about in our family and at my company for many years to come. My wife and 2 children spent a few days at the Ritz-Carlton in Amelia Island, Florida, while I was in California on business, sadly unable to make the trip with them. Upon returning, we discovered that our son's beloved stuffed giraffe named Joshy had gone missing. As most parents know, children can become very attached to special blankets, teddy bears, and the like. My son is extremely fond of Joshy and was absolutely distraught when faced with the idea of going to sleep without his favorite pal. While trying to put him in bed the first night home, I decided to tell a little white lie. Joshy is fine, I said. He's just taking an extra long vacation at the resort. My son seemed to buy it and was finally able to fall asleep, Joshyless, for the first time in a long while. That very night, the Ritz-Carlton called to tell us they had Joshy. Thankfully, he had been found, no worse for the wear, in the laundry. It was handed over to the hotel's loss prevention team. I came to the staff about the story I told my son and asked if they would mind taking a picture of Joshy on a lounge chair by the pool to substantiate my fabricated story. The loss prevention team said they'd do it, and I hung up the phone very relieved. A couple days went by and we received a package from the hotel. It was my son's Joshy, along with some Ritz-Carlton branded goodies of frisbee, football, etc. Also included in the package was a binder that meticulously documented his extended stay at the Ritz. It showed Joshy wearing shades by the pool, my original request and suggestion. Joshy getting a massage at the spa. Joshy making with the critters, stuffed and real. Joshy driving a golf cart on the beach. Who knew giraffes could drive? My son's Joshy was even issued a Ritz-Carlton ID badge, made an honorable member of the loss prevention team, and was allowed to help taking a shift in security monitors. Needless to say, my wife and I were completely wowed by the Ritz-Carlton loss prevention team. My son, on the other hand, didn't care so much about the binder and was just happy to have his Joshy back. I'm sure he'll have greater appreciation for that as he grows up. It goes without saying that the Ritz-Carlton can count on my family to be repeat customers. But I'm also telling you and everyone else who happens to read this story, this is because I've always told my staff, create an experience so amazing that someone can't help but tell others about it, and you're sure to succeed. I'd also venture to say that Aaron of the Ritz-Carlton loss prevention team and his cohorts had a pretty good time documenting Joshy's vacation, and employee morale is a huge part of creating a great customer experience. All of this from a stuffed giraffe who got lost on vacation. My challenge to you today is to create a Joshy moment, a Ritz-Carlton moment within your company. Look for an opportunity to show someone else that you care. And now for the meat of the matter. I have to assume that you're still here with us on this video training because you want to learn how to grow your business with controlled velocity. It starts with Facebook ads. As I mentioned earlier, Facebook ads allow you to target specific demographics. So rather than shotgun blasting your message, you're able to use laser or rifle precision to make sure that the right message gets to the right people who are more sure to buy your service or your product. Landing pages then direct your prospects to the message that you want them to hear. The content of your message should include the ideal prospects that you help, what problem that ideal prospect typically has, how you can help them solve their problem, and how they can reach out to you for additional help. Utilizing free information, much like this presentation, allows you to demonstrate how your product or service will meet their needs. Now, this is an example, a graphic example of how the system works. So it starts with the Facebook ads, and then that goes to a landing page. That landing page typically provides free, no string attached information, typically in the form of education, providing that prospect with some value and some information that they can use. And then if they're interested, it takes them to a second landing page where you provide content much like this video training that's designed to show your prospect what you can do to help them with their problem. And finally, it requires a call to action. And that taking of action could take many forms. It may send them to your website. It may send them to a place where they can sign up for a newsletter, or get some more free information. It may send them somewhere where they can then make a determination of whether or not they want to buy your product or your service. Now, the fact is you could do this on your own and hope for the best. You may even get a customer or two for your efforts. But what we know is your time is money. Many of you do not have the time to design compelling pages and content. And while you're trying to figure it out, you won't be able to interact with prospects and customers. Your other option is to outsource the work. What sets us apart is we're not a coaching or training company, not that there's anything wrong with either of those in the right setting. We are foremost a strategy firm. So we apply proven business strategy to get the right message to the right people, people who are interested in your product or service. If you're interested in working with me over the next 6 weeks, indicate your interest by clicking the Click Here button below this video for a free 45-minute strategy session. But hurry, this offer can only be extended to the first 8 qualified respondees. And in that time, we'll explore where you are in your business, where you're looking to go, and whether or not you feel that we could be a good fit toward helping you to that end. I look forward to talking to you and to seeing your response. And with that, I thank you for your time and interest, and I wish you the very best.